Megan,
Like,
I have all right genetics, Santa Barbara. Except for the fact I got that like skin, like high frequency thing done. And I'll have Eric like toss up the picture of the crime scene that I left on the fucking operating table. It was unreal the
The
amount of pain.
operating table.
operating table. Where'd you go?
It's what it was, man. It was a fucking procedure table. I literally left like just like an
The
ash
med
stain.
spa.
It was literally a crime scene of my sweat. I felt like such a little bitch. I was like, after the first go round, I was like, can I like bite down on some gauze?
Dude, when I got my hands tattooed, I had to go up and go pee after he did the last hand. And I got up and like you sit on this like protective like little piece.
Yeah,
Legit, I was sweating everywhere. It looked like I like pissed myself. And I'm like,
literally.
okay. Well, it's fucking stressful getting
Yep.
poked at, you know? So yeah, I guess my ass just sweats profusely when I get tattoos.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
for
that's
sure.
exactly what it was for me. It was
Yeah.
like that it wasn't a tattoo, but it was like
No,
30
yeah.
needles.
The
Just
to your face. I want to get shit like that done. But first I'm gonna get my lips refilled and all that.
yeah.
Botox.
You do not need bigger your lips are perfect.
I overlined them today because they're getting flat. I'm gonna do it before I go to the UK, so not until like 2 more months.
Hmm.
It's about I'm due for a little volume in my face. So I'll be getting that done.
I'm getting my
But
roots done soon, guys. Like you can see the
Mm.
blonde peeking through.
shit.
Are you
Tragic.
like blonde, like Meg and I blonde?
Yeah. Yeah. Blonde's
That's
Oh,
blonde.
crazy.
It's weird though, because when I was born with jet black hair, and
same.
then it just like turned blonde.
I was born with like bleach blonde hair, and now mine is like a fucking brunette.
I mean, I wouldn't call
You're an
that
Ashley
brunette
blonde.
by any means. Yours is still very, very blonde, but I definitely remember your baby photos, it being like literally bleach blonde.
Uh-huh. What's that guy from Harry Potter? Slick back platinum blonde
Oh,
hair?
Draco Malfoy.
That's what I looked like as a little child. After the shower, my dad would like freaking brush my hair back, and I would just be like, look like
That's
Drake.
wild. No, I'm gonna show you guys in the group chat like what my natural blonde is. That's a really like shit quality photo, but that's like
Oh, I was like, this is the crime scene.
yeah, that's a really shit quality photo. That's from 2012, but that's kind of like what my hair used to be.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't give a fuck.
It's
That
like
was
a
your
current
natural hair color?
one.
Yeah,
How old were you here?
I was, let's see, it's 2012, so I would have been like 15,
Damn,
16. Yeah.
that's fucking mad.
Talk about your chubby girl era, Laura, like we were talking about.
Okay, I've come to the conclusion I haven't actually had a chubby era. I
Yeah,
just held
you're
212 differently.
Yeah.
That was a better way. But I've
so
still got
for
my
our listeners listening that are normal humans like Ashley and myself, I asked Megan the other day, like, did you ever have that like in between stage of like trying to grow muscle that you kind of were like chubby in that awkward stage? Like, I feel like I'm in right now. And she was like, well, yeah. And I was like, okay, let's see pictures. And she's like, well, no, I just like held 212 differently. She sends a picture and like, no, she was
No,
already yoked. I'm like,
Okay,
okay,
I was yoked with body fat over top, so I looked like
that's not the same.
that's not
You
no.
already had the muscle.
No.
looked like I could fight somebody's baby daddy.
But that's
Like
like
I was
a lot of pros you see, like once they've achieved the amount of muscle that they need, they maintain a leaner
Mhm.
physique because they don't need to build more. And granted, like you want to not slam on body fat, but like some of it is going to accrue when
Mhm.
adding lean tissue. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if Megan was a normal human like the rest of us, but she's
I
not.
guess
Anyone
not.
else wondering? She's not.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just a unicorn. I went from frail, skinny to the fucking stacked Meg the
I
Stallion.
prefer bamboo stick, Meg, because that's
Okay,
literally what you
bamboo
remind
stick.
bamboo stick to like fucking karate chop you in half. No, but like Laura, when you were talking about like I made that one post where it's like my secret to staying lean year round and I don't, and it was like my different like chub eras. That's probably what you were talking about is like getting
Yeah,
chubbier in your off season, especially when you're like an amateur just needing to put on muscle tissue. Like we can't always stay like, 20, 30 pounds above stage weight. Like shit, sometimes I was up of 50, 60 pounds. And like granted, like I was shooting for a bigger division, but like it still wasn't quality tissue. So now it's like I finally got to the point where like, we found a sweet spot for like body fat and also like maximum growth potential. But yeah, Meg is like just fucking Clydesdale, a fucking unit, guys.
Mm. And so I started competing at 26, I'm 36. And just so you guys kind of understand like how where my head's at and how I'm feeling, I have never in 10 years of competing been more than 10 pounds over stage weight ever. So that's why now I'm like,
Yeah.
the fuck is this? Like,
And you're not even chubby, but like your perception of what's chubby is kind of like disordered, like most of ours is in competing.
oh yeah, for
Like,
yourself always.
yeah, it's like
Right.
you look genuinely like good, like genuinely healthy. You look good. Your muscles look fuller, especially since you're coming out of like your health phase. Like you just look awesome. Like that's how I look at it.
Faux show.
I'm excited to see in comparison next time I compete, whenever that is,
Mhm.
hopefully in the year or so. My stage weight as compared to last stage weight, because I'm hoping it will be like a significant difference.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, like that's something that like I'm trying to get over because it doesn't matter. Like the division that we compete in, there is no stage weight. Like there's no cap, you know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, my brain tells me that if I'm not like 120, 121 on stage, that I will have wasted these 5 years. Because if my stage weight is still between like 116 and 118, which is like what it was the first time I competed, that I somehow like fucked up. And that's so disordered because it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. My shape is totally different. But for whatever
your
reason, it's like that number.
I was gonna say your composition is totally different. Totally.
Totally.
See, now I feel like if I get on stage and I'm not heavier, then I really fucked up because I don't know if I could be any leaner than I was. So
Hmm.
I was looking back at pictures of that the other day. I'm like, holy fuck, you could actually like see the like outline of my teeth through my face.
Speaking of, Meg, what was your stage weight when you did your figure debut? Do you remember?
For my pro debut,
Yeah,
it
your
was
pro debut.
175.
Jesus. I'm just like
I want to.
to wrap my head around that.
Okay,
I
back up even further. How about for your first show ever?
oh fuck. I'd probably be like I was probably like 150. Put on a good 25 pounds.
And how long?
Uh
6
3 years? No, 6 months.
Megan,
Like,
I have all right genetics, Santa Barbara. Laura and I are
all
over here.
right, fuck off. Well, okay. My goal is like I think it would be sick to step on stage fucking shredded at 190.
For what
But I don't think
category?
that's possible. 185 maybe. For
That's
wellness. I think I'll be
still
185.
5 pounds is not for you, that's not nothing. Like
Yeah, I
that's
feel like
very doable for you.
Actually,
because I mean I can see like tie-in striations at 190.
Yeah.
So like cut off another 5 pounds and then I'm there. Like I have to be careful because I can
Yeah.
see striations at fucking 190.
Mhm.
So I got to make sure that I bring a little bit of voluminous, some fluff,
Yeah.
some fluff.
Speaking of volume, Miss I get to train upper body once a month is back.
I
I
was just looking up that girl that I sent you the other day that's 5'7" that also competes in wellness to see if she had listed what her weight was anywhere, just to like put into like perspective the amount more muscle that you have than her.
shit. Tell me.
I saw it. I know I saw it somewhere. I honestly want to say that she was like 146.
Jesus.
I'm gonna look like a fucking freak. That's all right. Because like in my progress photos, I don't think I look that big. But then I know once I stand next to those girls, I'm gonna be like, who the fuck is this 212 bodybuilder? And
Literally. It's like when you
But
go into the section of like Home Depot or Lowe's with like the refrigerators, you have like your basic bitch like $800 refrigerator, and then you have like the $3,000 one where it's like voice activated. It can hold like fucking wedding cakes
drawers.
and freezers. Like it'll like scratch your butt for you. Yeah, like that's the Megan Santa Barbara, the $3,000 refrigerator that everyone wants.
I
Mm.
love that comparison. But
I
yeah,
know
I
it's coming
trained
from
upper
where
once. What? You can't find it?
I'm
Mm.
almost positive she said 146 at 5'7", and that she wanted to come in with fuller glutes for the next time.
Mhm.
Ooh, well,
However, she does not have your implants. She's getting natty boobs, so those gotta weigh.
Okay, so like, yeah, the 40 pounds of just tit on Meg's part.
whatever that. Like what is how much is one of my tits?
That's right, Eric. How much does Meg's titties weigh?
If those things equal don't weigh at least
Like
pounds, I'm gonna be
just
shocked.
put it on my food scale. Like,
Just like
what's funny? But yeah,
Jesus
I
God.
train upper once a month now.
Once a month?
Once a month. Once a month. Yeah. Get a little pump. I'm like fucking sore. I'm so sore today.
Mhm.
But it's just 4 exercises, 4 sets of 15 to 20. No presses, just all like cable lateral raise,
Mhm.
upright row, reverse pec deck, cable Y raise. That's it.
Basic to the point. I like it.
Yeah, I don't sweat. I don't do anything.
I'm surprised you don't
I'm
sweat though,
very
'cause sometimes that volume stuff, like 4 sets of like 10 to 15,
I mean,
that's
I'm not like drenched. I get a little
okay.
glisten.
A little glisten. I don't sweat, I sparkle.
No, when I fucking train legs, I look like I pissed myself
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have like water. Like it's disgusting. So yeah, no, I don't do that. But yeah,
How do you wear makeup to the gym when you do that? Do you go with makeup on? Oh
I don't
no.
really wear. It's not okay. It looks like a lot of makeup because this lighting is like so good.
It actually is like
Really
But
is
it's
though.
if you need a photo shoot, like that is the spot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Slay,
this is
West Virginia.
my selfies like when I was in high school. Love it. That's probably what I did it. But yeah, no, I don't wear that much makeup. Like these are my fake eyelashes that I put on. Put those
Hmm.
bitches on like a week ago. I don't do
Wow.
my eyebrows. I have lip stuff on. Put a little bronzer on my cheekies.
Okay. 'Cause I don't understand the girls that like come done to the gym and then I'm like, dude, the second I'm sweating, that shit is running everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to
Like,
be me, not gonna lie. I would like do full makeup, everything, just to like, I don't even know, man. And I look back on it and I'm like, what a waste. What a waste of like
I mean,
makeup and pores and
I
all that shit.
hey, look good, feel good. If you're coming in there looking snatched as fuck and you're training hard, no
But I
judgment.
wasn't. I looked snatched as
Okay.
fuck, but I wasn't training hard.
I was like, I actually avoided training hard just so I didn't mess up my makeup.
Laura got it. Laura got
You
it.
can get down and dirty with training with a
I
full
think
makeup on.
I think back to like when I was like high school, maybe even early college, of like how I would leave the house, like have to be like organized outfit and hair and makeup and this. If you told like 18-year-old me what 36-year-old me does now, I would be appalled. Like it's clean, let's go. Fuck it.
Relatable. Yo, I'm just happy that like my I don't know what you want to call it, skincare evolution went from like full on makeup to like doing the contour bullshit, like the foundation, the setting spray, all of that like random shit that you get from Target, to like a nice gentle foaming facial wash, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, like tinted sunscreen. Like we went from like trying to like put so much fucking cake and product on to look a certain way to like actually nourishing the skin. And wouldn't you know, like I actually don't look like I'm 50 years old anymore. I'm like actually look like I'm 30.
You're 30.
I mean, I will be in a few years. Bitch, we're both 27. Like we're 3 years away from turning 30.
That was you just way aged yourself. 3 years is a long fucking time.
It is.
But
You could
like
have a
that's
baby.
we're closer to 30 than we are 20.
Barely. You just hit that like over mid-20 hump. You're like late 20s.
We're in 2 years. We're 2 years deep.
I would say 27 is still like cusp of
Do you
late.
hear this shit? Are they in denial or what?
I'm
I
not in
mean,
denial. I'm a fucking grandma over
We
here.
are
I don't
closer
care.
to 30 years old than we are to 20. Like, I'm
Yes.
not saying 30 is old. I don't think 30 is old at all.
30. I'm excited. You have more money and you can do more things.
Hey, what are you doing in there?
That's what he said. No, oh, Eric gave us an update. So we believe it was 5 pounds total of tit. So that's
Oh,
about two
no, no.
pounds per tit.
fit.
I feel like that's an underestimation because I think mine are about 3 and mine are 325 cc.
Yeah, but Meg's are saline though, right?
So the consistency makes the weight different?
Yeah, silicone weighs more than
Yeah.
saline.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Mhm.
Oh, so is that why you said that they could only do saline for what you wanted?
Yeah,
Because of the weight?
I guess so, yeah. That's what he does for that procedure. But we always talk about tits.
Yeah. Laura and Ashley's are silicone, which is why they weigh, which are denser. So think about Meg's saline tits as fat and Laura's titties silicone as muscle. They're denser.
Right?
That's smart.
Yeah, big brain, big tits. That's right.
However, if we somehow end up in the middle of the ocean, Meg's gonna float. We're gonna fucking drown.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Meg's gonna be a human buoy.
Just the tits up because the legs will sink. Like all the muscle in the legs, I just sank. So I don't know how well the titties hold me up, but
Oh my god.
What are we talking about today? What are we doing?
We have
Anyway?
questions. We have questions.
Halfway through the podcast.
No, I actually have like I got one decent question. They used the question box and not the anonymous, so their question got cut off. But the question was, how does the body end up losing fat and growing when you pull back? And then won't the effects? And then it got cut off. But like, how does the body end up, we'll say, looking better when you pull back? Because I actually think that's a pretty good, like, thoughtful question. Because we have people that are like, well, how do you look better when you're maybe reversing into a show or something like that, and you're eating more and doing less, but yet you look better?
stress, baby, pulls
Stress.
down that inflammation for sure. There's only so much that you can push before you start to regress and look like shit.
Mhm.
So that's all that it's doing. It's a stress response. It's pulling down inflammation on the body. And
Mhm.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's so ass backwards. And they're scared to pull, especially like in a prep, to
Mhm.
do like a diet break or a refeed. They're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fat. But really, you're probably gonna get a new low. You're probably gonna look more shredded, and your
Mhm.
body's gonna be more responsive.
Yeah, I like to talk about bodies as if they were cars because I feel like sometimes that's easier to understand. So it's like imagine you're driving like an old clunker, like your mom's car that you took to college on like a long road trip. It's like, okay, well, the check engine light comes on and it breaks down on the side of the highway. You are forced to get it towed and taking it to a repair shop to get repaired, right? Then you repair it, maybe you replace the oil, the filter, give it a little bit more gas, tune up the engine, whatever, but you pull back, you take care of whatever it is that's broken, and then you're back on the highway moving and grooving. Bodies are very similar. Like you can push the body, and different bodies have different levels of, we'll say, stress resiliency, where there are some people that can really dig deep and not necessarily need to pump the brakes versus some people, mostly women. Like we usually don't have a big of a stress threshold that men do. So that's why women typically benefit from like longer periods of refeeding, diet breaks, whatever, because we kind of respond to stress differently than males, which is why, like Meg was saying, it's like stress and inflammation. And when you need to pull back, it's like, well, how can we, mitigate the stressors? Maybe it's a cardio break. Maybe it's increasing food. Maybe it's both. And so it's really just toggling inputs and outputs. And especially in a prep setting, I think some helpful questions that I like to ask my athletes, which helps to guide my decision making, are these. How do your legs feel? How hungry are you? How are pumps? How is mood or energy, even outside of the gym? And if they're like, hey, I'm hungry, but my legs are fine, then that tells me that, okay, hey, maybe we can keep cardio in or steps higher. Maybe they should need a bit more food. Or on the converse side, they're like, I'm honestly not that hungry, but my legs feel like concrete. It's like, okay, well, why don't we just stick with our dig days for now? But let's just not do cardio the next 4 days. Like, let's give your legs a break, let the inflammation drop off. And usually once you kind of fiddle around with those dials, like Meg said, you get a new low, or instead of like hitting that plateau, you finally bust through it and you can keep progressing. So those are just kind of like tools of the trade.
Yeah. And I agree. I did that with my master's figure girl. She had a high level of fatigue towards the end of her prep, and her legs were feeling very, like you said, like concrete. That's what people will typically say. And there is a point, like in prep, like you just have to suck it up kind of thing.
Mhm.
But we were like 8 weeks out. So I was like, okay, well, we don't want to be feeling this shit 8 weeks out. So that's what we did. We just moved her to steps for like honestly 2 weeks, I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. It was like no cardio. And yeah, you're gonna have some resistance to that because in your mind, you're like, oh, I have to keep pushing, keep pushing.
Mhm.
But that's why you have a higher coach who's gonna kind of get real with you and help you take the little prep goggles off and see the real deal here.
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
think
Go ahead, Laura.
I was gonna say, I think another thing to keep in mind, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners are also non-competitors, we have lifestyle people listening too. So say that you're doing a lifestyle cut or whatever, and you're starting to not see the results continue the way that you want to, you have to also remember that your body definitely has a set point for homeostasis, like where it thrives, it functions the best, and like where you're going to feel good and then also perform well. And these are all things to take into consideration too, is like how far away from that are you? If you feel like complete shit, maybe it does make more sense to back up, stay at a more set point, appropriate stance for a couple weeks, a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, so you can continue to push on to having, maybe it's a long-term weight loss goal and be able to get to that final destination. Sometimes it's a step backwards to step forwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To give a non-bodybuilding example, I'm working with a strong woman right now who wanted to drop from heavy weights to middle weights. So we're talking like 210 pounds down to 180. And we had like 13 weeks to lose 30 pounds, right? So we had to really push. And so there were like, it was just essentially a melody, if you will, of doing like carb cycling with cardio and steps. And we got to a point where her cardio got so high where it was impacting her lifts. And we need to keep performance extremely high for a strongman competition. So what I opted to do is I pulled her cardio from like 2,500 calories a week down to 1,500, but really boosted the steps and then dug into her nutrition. And, in the 13 weeks that we have dieted, she's gone from 210 to 190, which that's still pretty damn good. And we're obviously not going to meet the weight cap in terms of body fat because, again, losing 30 pounds in 14 weeks, like it would have to be a sub 1,000 calories, like
Yes.
for so long, and then even then I doubt the body would even respond. So we're gonna have to do some water manipulation, which is just, it is what it is. But again, keeping performance as high as possible for this strong woman competitor was like, it was a challenge of seeing how she responded to adding steps, decreasing food, having high days, low days, dig days, cardio. And you don't know what the right decision is until the body reacts. And that's like the art of coaching, is you can have like the perfect plan on paper, but if your athlete implements it and there starts to be snags, that's where you have to deviate. So just take the tools that we're talking about and apply them to you and give them time to work, right? You can't just like pick and choose as needed, like try to do what makes sense, because again, you won't know until biofeedback gives you some information.
Yeah. And I love that. First of all, that's awesome. You guys are doing a sick job, by the way. But with that, when I start somebody out on a dieting phase, like I'll give them like a
Roadmap.
roadmap. There we go.
Roadmap.
A roadmap.
Two.
And we'll have like planned, like, oh, this is when we may take a diet break or incorporate this or that. But I wouldn't follow that unless their body is telling me, okay, it is time. Because we may need to do that diet break like 3 weeks before I plan it. So that's where if your coach is not assessing these biofeedback things, like Ash said, like your recovery, your energy, your digestion, your mood, your libido, um, they're missing a lot of valuable information here to continue progressing you in the right way.
Love it. Love it. Any other final thoughts before we move on to our copper IUD question?
No.
Roll on out.
Awesome. And then what was the question? It was just like thoughts on copper IUD? Yeah, copper IUD
Copper
thoughts.
IUD thoughts.
I
Well,
actually got this yesterday too. With client.
dude,
Like it's a good non-hormonal option of birth control. Like I have nothing really to add to the whole birth control like conundrum, because at the end of the day, like I am someone who does not want to have children. And for a time, like I was on birth control specifically for the idea of not getting pregnant. Like obviously that was first given to me when I was having like acne and hormonal issues as a band-aid. And then, went through my whole like anorexia period where I wasn't even having periods on birth control. And then was actually on a new birth control when Eric and I started to get serious, just so that way, like, it wouldn't be a whoops baby, So, like, it really just depends on the female. Like, I get hormonal birth control is not great. I understand that. But fuck, you know what also is not great? Being a mom when you don't want to be. So it's like, yes, there are different options, and should consider what options are best for you for the long term, because although copper IUD is non-hormonal, it's also not without side effects. So there are different options of birth control, some hormonal, some non-hormonal, and you just need to look at the research, read the pros and cons of all your options, and decide what's best for you. And that's kind of like my thought process on it.
yeah. I mean, anecdotally, from working with clients who've gone from like hormonal birth control to the copper IUD, I do see, for some reason, an increase in cramping around that time of the month, but their ability to lose weight and put on muscle is
Mhm.
better off of the hormonal birth control. And I also had an athlete who reached out to me when I got this question like a couple months or a couple weeks ago in my Q&A, and she said that mentally, like her emotions and her mood swings aren't fluctuating as much as with hormonal birth control, which totally makes sense. Like our hormones are staying more stable on it. So it could have a neural impact too. But personal experience, I've never taken birth control, so I don't know how I would have felt like on hormonal versus copper.
I think something else to keep in consideration if birth control is the route you're going to go, to kind of play devil's advocate here, is what is your long-term health, like what has your long-term health been like? Are you someone that has autoimmune issues? Because if so, you may not be a good candidate for a copper IUD, because there's such thing as copper toxicity, which is going to be more impacting to someone that is already having an autoimmune reaction, flares, something that they are known for having. I had a client that actually wanted to switch birth controls, was looking into it, and actually asked her physician if she could use the copper IUD, and they said that she wouldn't be a candidate due to her autoimmune issues.
Makes sense, yeah. Um, and then I guess another thing, I mean, can be linked to autoimmune with thyroid is, sometimes the copper toxicity with the copper IUD is kind of more rare
Mhm.
for most people, but you can have like that binding effect of like copper to zinc, and it can cause some type of thyroid, I wouldn't say down regulation, but it can cause like a conversion issue just due to that. And then you also know like hormonal birth control will just deplete our B vitamins.
Mhm.
So switching to the copper IUD could help with that too. Um, but if you are switching from hormonal to copper, I would add in a B complex for sure, just to make sure you are, getting in those micronutrients.
Honestly, I think any female, whether it's menstruating naturally or menstruating due to hormones, copper IUD would benefit from a good B complex, magnesium and zinc, just to support your overall hormone production, whether it's natural or to support, thyroid conversion, liver health, especially. It's one of those things where I hate just to be like, oh, what supplement can I take? But honestly, like, let's just call a spade a spade. When you're taking exogenous, like birth control, copper IUD, whatever, it is going to interfere with how your body works.
Yeah.
So let's just support the body however best we can. Yes, first with the diet, making sure we're doing all our fundamentals, but then like a solid methyl B complex, whether it's like life extension, pure encapsulations. Like now foods have good stuff. Like zinc is great, magnesium. I think those are like the main ones, especially if you're doing copper, because we have like metals and minerals like to kind of like compete for absorption. Yeah, so sometimes just making sure we like cover our bases, which I would be that would be my hypothesis as to why like women have more cramps and probably like denser periods when they're on the
That makes
copper, just because like they might be like an iron issue or like a magnesium or zinc issue, and that's just causing heavier flow,
sense.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why it's important too. I mean, I feel like for some reason CBC and CMPs are kind of like brushed aside and people just jump straight to like thyroid and sex
So
hormones.
helpful.
There's so much that you can learn just from looking at your CBC and
Mhm.
understanding that, especially if you are coming off of hormonal birth control or just switching, you know.
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
hope I answered that person's thoughts question.
I
I
mean,
hate
those are hard
you
to
ask
answer because
a
it's like,
question,
yeah,
thoughts.
it's like thoughts for whom? Like,
Oh, it
I think the
I
next
think
question is good though.
was more of like a statement, but yeah.
Well, I think it is a statement, but I think it is a good thought-provoking statement because for me, this question shows self-awareness, right? So like the like statement is, I want to hire a coach, but I don't know if I'm ready to overhaul my life. And I think this is something that's good to discuss because a lot of athletes, a lot of clients do have this scarcity where it's like the unknown of working with someone that is going to tell you what to eat, how to move your body, is going to encourage you to set boundaries, to sleep and stuff like that. For some that are so used and addicted to chaos and disorder, it can actually be really scary to have like a regimen.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, this kind of goes to a conversation I had with an athlete the other day about she's done this before. Like she's done photo shoots, she's prepped for a show, everything. And now she's kind of coming to me and she just wants to do a general dieting phase, but she's having some mental kind of battles, struggles to kind of stay on plan. She's like, I know what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. And we had to kind of have this one-on-one talk of, okay, why are we resistant to change this time?
Mhm.
And she's obviously in a totally different space. Like mindset and her physical living situation is so much different than where she
Mhm.
was when she was very successful at this. So when it comes to hiring a coach because you're scared that you're going to have to overhaul your whole life, first of all, the coach should kind of meet you where you're at and focus on like the low hanging fruit first. We're not here to completely flip your whole life upside down and make this more chaos. But
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are resistant to change because they're so familiar with the comfort that their bad habits bring them. You
Mhm.
know, that's just what they turn towards. So it's difficult, but you need to have that collaboration with your coach. Like, okay, let's work on X, Y, and Z this week. And then we kind of build on top of that instead of going like 0 to 100.
Mhm.
I think it's also hard to go into a relationship with a coach without feeling some sense of trust because
Yeah.
like you're saying, you're giving up control. And I think that a lot of people realistically and especially in the bodybuilding space come from some type of disordered
Mhm.
background. And when you have a disordered background, whether it's food, over exercise, anything above, the root of that is usually control, maybe not specifics of your body, but other areas of your life. So now you're passing that off to somebody else and agreeing to listen. So that's when you should be doing your research, whether it's, kind of almost interviewing for the consult, like ask them questions, what's going to be X, Y, and Z? Like, would you be okay with if you have some non-negotiables of things that like wouldn't really work for you? And then also, I'm not even saying this towards us, but like follow the person, their social media, talk to some of their clients that work with them currently, get some advice, information. Don't be afraid to ask questions because it is a commitment, not just financially, but emotionally too. And I think that the more comfortable you feel, the more successful your journey with that coach is going to be.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between like being scared because I think you should be scared because that means you're challenging yourself. It's something new. You're inviting something new to disrupt the status quo. And that is scary. And I think that level of scared is good in terms of growth. But specifically with this statement, I don't know if I'm ready to overhaul my life. That I think speaks volumes to the level of self-awareness that this person has, because they're right. It is an overhaul. And like Meg said, the coach should meet you where you're at. But you also have to be able to receive change and implement change, however big or small. But if you're just sticking like one baby toe in, I don't think that's going to be great for your long-term success. Like if you're going to jump in, I'm not saying you should fucking jump in the deep end, but we at least need to like wait around in the baby pool for a little bit. We can't just have one toe in the water and be like, "Oh, I'm swimming," because you're not really swimming. Like you're just kind of flirting with it, and you need to be able to go all in, understanding that it is going to be a process and a learning curve to develop skills, to develop the relationship with your coach, to be able to learn how to change bad habits into cultivating new ones. And so it's good to be scared. It's good to follow the advice that Laura and Meg and I are all saying, because you want to make sure that the person that you have chosen to help guide you is a good fit for you. But you also need to have the level of self-awareness to kind of call yourself out on your own crap in order to change. So if you're truly not ready to invite a coach into your life to help overhaul it, you honestly might not be ready, because like that tells me that they're too scared to want something better for their lives. And I think that barrier needs to be worked past first in order for them to be successful.
Yeah, I think that's good for sure.
Yeah. Any other questions, or did you get any questions?
I didn't get anything.
There, I didn't get.
I
Might
was
have some
late
old
this
ones.
morning when you guys were posting them because I was already at work, but I reposted and then just attached a question box to Megan's, but I'm not sure if people would have realized that they could actually respond to
Mm.
it.
So I got some
I
more
have
fun
some,
ones.
yeah, I have some old ones that I never answered on like personal Q&As I can go through.
I want to know
Uh,
fuck, marry, kill, waffles, pancakes, French toast.
fuck, Mary Kill. Wow.
Damn,
Fuck.
that's a hard one.
I know.
I'd fuck French toast because that's a good like little like one night stand kind of thing. Hit it, quit it kind of thing. Waffles, I'm marrying. I'm
Same.
killing pancakes. I don't like pancakes.
I think I'm on the same page with that.
So I'm a little different. I'm definitely Mary waffles, because like I like my waffles crunchy on the outside, fluffy on the middle, like fluff. Pancakes, I'm a fuck pancakes. Like pancakes are like I'd slap a booty. French toast, honestly, here's the deal. I grew up, and Meg, you'll probably relate to this. Laura, I'm sure maybe you had this growing up, but this might have been like you might have been like past this stage. But Meg, do you remember those like frozen little like French toast sticks?
Yeah,
That
you
was, yeah, little dunkers.
it.
Yeah. Here's the deal. That was my French toast growing up, and like that was not it for me. And I know there's like good like French toast now where you have like, like the buttery soft brioche bread, or I don't,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm gonna fuck up this name, but like
Stuffed, this
there's
stuffed French toast.
there's like
Mm.
challah bread. Laura,
Oh, bread. That's Jewish bread, yeah.
Yeah, they have like that bread with French toast that like I could see. That would be a good French toast type of thing. But I grew up with the Dunkers, and Dunkers ain't it for me.
I never ate those. My mom actually used to like those. Yeah, I know. She's a simple woman. What can I say? Shout out mom. It's her birthday today, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, mom.
Perfect.
Thanks. But I did grow up making French toast, like with my dad
Aw.
for me and my brother and whatever. So like it's almost like a little nostalgic too. But like I
Mhm.
remember actually making it like you were saying with hollow bread and all that like cinnamon and syrup and all that good shit.
Mhm.
I just
Mm.
like the waffle. They come with little like little holes for
Little
like
nooks and
butter.
crannies for your syrup and butter.
So
Yes.
cute.
I was a strange
Pancakes.
child. I used to grab Eggo waffles out of the freezer and eat them frozen.
Dude, I did too. The chocolate chip ones. Those
Yep.
are yep.
What's
I
wrong
did
with
that
you?
shit too. But you see, in my defense, I was just fat. So I could do anything, and I just didn't give a shit.
I feel like that's like a sign of nutrient deficiency, eating frozen foods.
I don't know, they were
Not
good.
like that.
I'm gonna
What
tell
is
you right
that?
now,
Oh, shit.
I wasn't deficient in shit. I was just fat. What about breakfast
That
meats
look
though?
fantastic.
They were. They were though. What's y'all's favorite breakfast meats?
Sweet?
What's that?
Breakfast meats? Like what type of meat do you typically have with breakfast where you're like, oh, I slap this?
I'm a simple girl. I like eggs and turkey bacon.
Okay. Turkey bacon, I see you.
Now, I'm super nostalgic with this. I like sausage, any type of sausage, um, and a little patties with maple syrup. That's what my granddad always made me.
That was
But
gonna be my answer. Either a sausage patties or links that have like the maple syrup consistency. That
I don't think I've ever had either.
is good.
but I guess now turkey bacon. I don't eat breakfast meats.
Yeah.
I'll eat chicken and rice for breakfast, but
Mhm.
I just stick to my egg whites. So
This guy?
Yeah, no, same.
I'll
Same.
eat whatever. That's what I don't get. Like some people are like, oh, like it's not breakfast food. I can't eat. I'm like, what the fuck is a breakfast food? Like
know.
I can eat breakfast anytime. Like I can eat beef or turkey or chicken at 6 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. Like it doesn't matter. It's just food.
Yeah.
It's
Why
like
is it not acceptable to have like chicken and rice for breakfast, but no one fucking bats an eye if you eat cereal for dinner?
that is what I'm saying. Give me a freaking 8 ounce fillet in the morning, steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs. I was literally just about to say that. Yes.
I would actually prefer something sweeter at night as opposed to like first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what it's called. It's when you eat things that are more unedible, though, not frozen food. Never mind.
Mhm.
I was thinking of that.
Meg's like Meg's dissing on our frozen waffles, thinking we're eating fucking rocks because we have like an iron deficiency.
That's what kids do. They'll eat rocks and like clay and shit because they have a
No, I
nutrient.
just ate frozen Eggo waffles because I was too
You were just
lazy to put them
That's
in a
why I did that. My
toaster.
brother did all that shit.
eat rocks.
Paste, fucking anything he get his hands on.
All right.
Why you
Like a
stayed back in
multi-food.
school.
I love that. I love that. Were y'all like a Pop Tart or a toaster strudel family?
This is true. Fuck that shit up.
Really, you were a toaster strudel girl. My
Yeah.
family did Pop Tarts.
What's the difference?
You for real?
I didn't eat either, so I don't know.
Toaster strudel is like that pastry, that flaky little
It's like
pastry.
a croissant. It's not like croissant, but it's more flaky versus a Pop Tart's more just like dough-ish, where it's like not
Pop-Tart's
frozen.
that hard ass
Yeah.
thing. But do people actually put the Pop-Tarts in the toaster?
Dude, I like to burn like the best one for me were s'mores or the chocolate fudge ones where you would like almost burn it on the outside. So the outside was a little bit burnt and then the inside was gooey. That was like my fave.
I don't know. I like
I
toaster
never touched any of that. I hate jelly.
icing.
That is my one thing. Like I do not like
I
jelly.
wouldn't say it's jelly. Like it's
Like
I
even
would say the
peanut
toaster
butter
strudel is
jelly
more jelly than the Pop Tart.
Mm.
Yeah.
Pop jelly inside them.
I wouldn't say it's jelly. Like I would just say it's more just like a filling. Especially if you're eating it cold, it's not like jelly.
Yeah, it's not easing out. It's just kind of like
I was
Yeah,
a
I
mom.
don't know how to describe a cold Pop Tart. That's a
wrong.
thinker.
Bad decisions. That's what.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm eating breakfast food for my free meal this week. That's why all the breakfast questions.
What are you
See,
having?
I recommended that.
I know. You fucking killed it versus, oh my God, the soggy pizza that I had last week was so gross. I was like, this is not it, fam.
That's the worst when you like get excited about a meal, like no cheap meal, not cheap meal, whatever, and then it sucks. That's so disappointing.
It was
Right.
good for me though, because
Why?
here's the deal. The reason why it was good for me is it is completely normal to go out to a dinner, a meal with friends, family, whoever, and be disappointed in the meal, but to not have it ruin your day. And the thing with bodybuilders is sometimes we get so attached to our free meals that we have to make it count because we only get one off-plan meal that if it sucks, your whole day's ruined, the whole week's ruined. Like it just wasn't worth it. for me, I had to battle with that. I was like, this was a really disappointing meal, and I'm upset that I didn't enjoy it, and I'm pissed that I wasted the money. But I had to really work through the idea that I didn't make it count or that my whole week was ruined, because that's not true. So for me, it was a good internal battle to be like, you know what? I'll just never go back to this pizza joint again and it'll be okay. So it was actually really good for me.
So in a situation like that, would you go home if you were hungry and have something else?
So we didn't actually eat at the pizza place because it wasn't like a dine-in option. So we were already home. But what I did is I had 2 slices of my pizza and I was like, this is gross, this is soggy. And so I ate I always get a salad with at pizza places because for whatever reason, I am like a sucker for like black olives and banana peppers, and they always have bomb ass salads at pizza joints. So I don't give a shit. Off season, like when calories are high, I'm fucking getting a salad because that shit's bomb. But anyway, ate the salad because that was really, really good and refreshing. And then I had some of Eric's pizza, and I was proud of myself for that because like it had pepperoni on it, and I'm not like a big like ham pig person, but I ate the pepperoni, no big deal. And then I just stopped when I was like, okay, I've had enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to like eat more just for the sake of like making it count. It was just a disappointing meal and we moved on and now we're getting fucking breakfast this weekend. So like it's a
Oh,
win-win.
that I was asking that because I went out last weekend with Josh and like
Mhm.
not to have like a crazy like gluttonous cheat meal, just to like go out to eat or whatever. Like I've been kind of weaning back to having more freedom from having been on the gut protocol and all that type of crap.
Mhm.
So we went out. What did I get? It was like broccoli, potatoes, like fried shrimp, whatever. Not fried, but less like sauteed,
Yeah.
whatever. It sucked. It was not good at all. Like Brussels sprouts, not broccoli, sorry. They were like completely raw, drowned in oil, like gross. Like I ate like maybe half of it and I got home and I was like, fuck, I'm so hungry. Like, and just like put together what I would have normally had for a meal that like, when you go out and have a cheat meal, you omit one of your normal meals,
Yeah.
whatever. And had that too, and was just like, oh, I'm still hungry. I'm gonna eat. And like for me, that would have been something I would not have done in the past
Yeah.
because I didn't know how much I had to eat, but I was still hungry. So I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have done the same.
Yeah, I'm like that too. That's why I honestly I stick to the same thing every time. I know what I like and I know what I also digest well. I
Mhm.
think in the past when it came to like free meals, I would treat it like it's like the last fucking supper, you know? Like I'm never gonna freaking eat this food again. Oh my
Yep.
God. Like that's how people act like when they hoard food backstage for their shows.
Oh
Please
my God. Yeah.
can do that, guys. Like, oh my God, the food's gonna be there. It's gonna be fine.
Mhm.
But that's why I stick to the same thing every week. But
Mhm.
like, while I'm here visiting family, like this weekend, we're eating in Hancock, Maryland, and the only option is like crab cakes. I
No.
don't like crab cakes, so I will be bringing a meal with me. But I'll probably come home and have like a little something, something,
Yeah.
you know. But I think it takes time, to get to that relationship with food.
Mhm. At the end of the day, it's so much less important than you think it is. It's not like the food honestly doesn't matter that much. It's how you think
Yeah.
about what it is that you are doing. And so like in each of these actions, for me, I would count like Laura's as a win for her because she wouldn't have normally had another meal, but she was still hungry. She honored that cue. That's a win for Laura. Meg is at the point where like she used to have like a free for all, much like I did. And now it's just like she's so not food focused that she'll just do the same things out of habit because she knows what she likes. She knows what digests well, and she's moving and grooving. For me, I had to let go of the idea of only eating sushi because I felt safe around it because I knew that would digest well versus like being okay with eating soggy pizza and not enjoying it or having breakfast food or doing something else that is uncomfortable for me. Those are all different wins. And so I hope you guys are listening, tuning in, understanding that like we all come from very similar kind of like disordered control backgrounds, but we've all struggled in different ways, and these are how we continue to challenge ourselves and even challenge one another and share with you guys that hey, this is where I'm uncomfortable. So this is where I got to work. Because again, like the reason why I started my free meal adventure, if you will, is because last year during my off season, Eric and I went to a fucking Cracker Barrel, and I was like all gung ho, laughy. Oh, we're gonna go to a Cracker Barrel, like we're, coming after Sunday school, and with Mama and Papa, gonna go get some Cracker Barrel breakfast. And I order it, and it comes to the dining room table, and I just bust out in tears because I can't fucking handle it. I could not handle having a meal that was not sushi. I couldn't handle the fact that it looked kind of gross and anemic because it's Cracker Barrel. But like when I literally the food came out and I like bursted into tears, I was like, oh, this is not good. I cannot have this. And that's why I fucking started doing this, because I can't cry over Cracker Barrel pancakes.
Yeah.
That's just
No,
not worth tears, man.
sure. Dude, and that's huge. That's a big
Mhm.
one. But like for me, like, yeah, I know what I like, but if I am at this restaurant that only my mom just keeps talking about their crab cakes, but like if they have like a fucking steak or something, I'm gonna get that. I'll eat like a normal person, but I don't attach so much emotion to food anymore that I can sit there and just converse with my family and be present and not have a meal. And I don't find it weird. They don't find it weird anymore. They don't judge me for it. They're just like, oh, it's just Meg being Meg. Like, okay. But at the same time, like, shit, I'll go fuck up a burger and fry right now. Like, like it's not that big of a deal anymore. But it takes work, like
Yep.
mental work, man.
There's definitely an inner dialogue to have, whether you're being put in a position that if you don't like something, don't fucking eat it. But if you want to have something and then feel anxiety about the fact of having X, Y, and Z, and it's giving you like an emotional experience, that's something to sit with and kind of ask yourself why and how to maybe overcome.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Like, if you don't like it, don't eat it. But also realize, okay, why don't I like this food? Is it because like I'm attaching like a negative connotation to it? Like, oh, this food's gonna make me fat the second it enters my mouth hole. Like, okay, well, that's a lie. But like you have to get real with like why you don't like that food. If you physically do not like it and it just makes you feel just nasty, don't eat it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Like I was honestly excited to have pizza because I haven't had pizza in years. And I was like, oh, I'm actually genuinely excited because like I got ordered a barbecue pizza. It had like barbecue chicken on it, like marinara sauce, cheese, banana peppers, mushrooms. I was genuinely fucking amped for this pizza. And I eat a slice and it's so fucking soggy. Like they just drowned that shit in barbecue sauce, even though I asked for light sauce because I had an inkling that like the snot-nosed teenage kid behind the counter was just gonna the entire pizza. And you know what? I didn't eat it because it wasn't good. And that's actually a win for me because this time last year, kind of like what Meg used to struggle with just like kind of treating it like your last meal. I would have eaten the whole 10-inch pizza because it's my free meal and I got to make it count because I only get one a week. But after 2 slices, I was like, listen, this ain't it. This ain't good, Chief. So I just literally threw it away and then was kind of pissed about the money. But like, that's my own issue. I didn't cry. So that's a win.
Okay.
No tears at Cracker Barrel.
No tears. No, that's actually the that's gonna be the final testament. The final test is going back to Cracker Barrel and see if I crack a smile instead of
Have you ever had their chicken dumplings?
everyone like raves about the chicken and dumplings. Here's the deal. I'm not like a dumpling person. Like I didn't grow up eating dumplings. I just don't have an attachment to them. And some people like crap themselves for dumplings, and I just don't get it.
I would not
That's
shit myself for them, but that is something I grew up on. Every time we went to the Cracker Barrel, I'd be like, give me them chicken dumplings. But then the last time I ordered them, there's only like four. Like fucking small little serving. But I
You know
guess
what
my
I'd fuck up? I'd fuck up some crab rangoons.
I know we're always talking about them.
I
But
know.
it just don't sound that appealing.
I mean, fresh ones, I would fuck up some fresh ones, but ones that have been like sitting under the hot light for like 4 hours, hard pass.
God.
what is that? It's crab and cream cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't even know if it's real crab to be honest with you. Like
Something and cream cheese.
it's like imitation crab probably if I had to guess. I don't know. Like it definitely was like that's like what I ate growing up eating Chinese food, but like honestly my favorite's always going to be egg rolls because I have a thing for
Egg
cabbage.
rolls. Egg rolls and the steak on a stick. The teriyaki steak.
I liked Mongolian chicken. I don't know if you know what that is, but that was my favorite. I love Chinese food growing up, guys. Like that was my food.
I'm a big Chinese food person, but
Oh,
I'd look up some crab rangoons. I'd do it.
they're super good, super good. I don't know. I would always like we'd always get like Chinese on like a Friday because that was like our Friday food as family. It was either Chinese or pizza, and like we'd get like General Tso's, crab rangoons, egg rolls, soup. Like we were like that white family that just went way too hard on Chinese. And looking back, I was like, damn. That's why you were 250 and not like a Mega Santa Barbara 250. Like,
I've never been 250, goddamn.
yo, maybe this off season you'll get to 212 on stage. Let's go.
Chill, man. Trying to step on stage after the O, so I can't be getting that fat. Oh man, that'd be rough. I can't even fit in any of my jeans, y'all. Like, I got a pair, and I'm like, oh, Fashion Nova makes the best jeans for
Mhm.
us wide lower ladies with like the tinier, what is it called, waist. But yeah, no, I pulled them bitches on, ripped them straight down the booty crack, and I'm like, well, shit. So can't wear those. So now I'm like, I think I'm a 12 in my jeans. I don't know.
That's wild. I remember getting down to a size 12 and almost like crying because I was so happy because I used to be a size 20. So
Ooh,
like, yeah,
that's crazy. Jean sizes are crazy though. Like I can be like a 12, I can be a 14. I don't even know.
I'm actually surprised you can wear jeans, to be honest with you. Like not because like you're fat, because like you were just so lower body dominant that like I'm surprised it
Things like just
fits.
they look
Yeah.
very like taut near like the punani because like the thighs like are
That's,
so thick. So it's like
see, that's what I didn't really understand with the whole. Have either of you ordered fit jeans?
no, because
No, they're
I'm paying
expensive.
80 some
So,
fucking dollars.
so I
A
have,
hundred.
and like I don't
Crazy.
see the hype. Like they're still like suffocating, even
Okay.
if
I'm glad you wasted your money on it, not me.
yeah, fuck it. And then I resold them on Poshmark because I was not impressed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a skinny crackhead, so I probably don't even need to buy them.
We rectified this already. We rectified
Lord,
this.
what did you say? Oh my gosh, you were the best spin person. So what you're saying is you think I'm lean and have a lot of energy.
I love it.
100. That was the
You're
best
not a skinny
comeback.
crackhead.
Dude, I'm like, I was trying to think of even a funnier thing, like a lean growth hormone addict. That would be better.
Hmm.
That'd be more accurate.
Jesus.
But speaking of clothes, I tried Halara. Have you heard of that clothes brand? I
I've
don't know.
heard
I haven't got anything, but yes.
Yeah, I kept getting ads for it, and I was like, no, I'm never gonna buy this brand because they are spamming me with ads and are really annoying. But because when I poop in the morning, I'm watching Facebook Reels, I always send to Meg a
always.
fucking. They got me after I swear to God, probably like over 100 ads. They got me with like a Viking skirt, and I was like, okay.
A
And
Viking
What is a
skirt
Viking
I
skirt?
bought like a skirt. It's like a skort, obviously, because it's for the gym,
for
but
the
it's
gym.
it's
You
yeah,
gonna
it's
fit in a skirt?
yeah, but it has this like fucking thigh thing. So if I wanted to like put a knife like belt, I could, so I could like just
Oh
shake
my
someone.
God.
Dude,
Oh,
You
let me see if
make
I
this
can
gonna
find it.
die.
appearance like it. I want to try that
Let me
skirt.
see if I can find
Maybe
it.
you one of those hats with the little horns.
Dude, I'm telling you, like it
I
was,
was seeing something, right?
dude, let me see if I can try to find it. Yeah,
I
they
don't
call it the
know.
Breezeful High-Waisted Pleated 2-in-1 Side Pocket Adjustable Buckle Mini Quick Dry Casual Skirt.
What the